Well, haha, I was counting down and I got to 5. It was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong, Matt. It was wrong.
Was it wrong?
It was. It was wrong. It shouldn't have happened. I was counting down from 5 and it stopped sharpish. I don't know why. I've no idea. Hello, Sputs. You're in there. Brian Coe's joined as well. He's on Periscope. Monster Rob S has joined on Periscope. Hello. How are you doing? I'm sitting watching here, seeing what's going on. I've got it coming in at us twice on two different iOS things. So yeah. He said hi, DD. He didn't say hi to you, Matt.
Oh, son in there. Oh wait, I'm not interested. No.
No, it didn't be like that. The twins of evil tonight. Alan from Tadley's there. No, there's no Marco. Marco's even worse than he was last week, isn't he?
He is. You know what? I reckon it was his weight loss. When he was a more portly fellow, he didn't get ill.
Oh, well, you see, that's cold weather for you, isn't it?
Ah, yes. He hasn't got the insulation anymore, has he?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, all the blubber's gone.
Aye.
He's the loser of the year.
Yes.
Apparently. He's Barnsley Bradford. Barnsley's biggest loser. Barnsley's biggest loser. We've said that for ages. Hello, Reptile Keeper. Nice to see you, mate. He's coming on Periscope. There's loads of people coming in on Periscope. I don't know why. Loads of hearts coming up. You can keep them going as well, because apparently there's a heart count. Did you know that?
I have no idea.
Apparently so, yeah. The more hearts we get, the more we get pushed by the powers that be on the scope of Perimus.
Ah, metrics.
Pardon?
Metrics.
Is that like bollocks, only in Europe?
Pretty much the same thing, right?
Hey, I'm full of the joys of spring today, you know.
Is it spring?
Oh, aye. Officially?
You wouldn't notice round here, I'll tell you that.
Well,
bloody horrible.
The spring equinox, is that what it's called?
Aye, yeah.
Or is that a form of lubrication? I can never remember.
It involves men in white robes around Stonehenge, I think.
Yes. And naked women dancing beside them.
Ah, yes, and goats.
Pardon?
I don't know anything more about it.
Sorry, I thought you said men in white goats. Or you said coats. Right, no, sorry.
I've been in Wales too long. They get goats and coats confused.
As you do. You want to be careful, otherwise you know Bee's going to clip you around the lugs next time she sees you, because she's Welsh. Ridian won't, because he'll be looking for his wallet.
Let's not mention the rugby.
No, let's not. Halkin 007 has joined. He's licensed to thrill.
Ooh.
Evening to you. Nice to see you. Hello. We've got a completely unpacked show for you again tonight, haven't we, Matt?
Aye, good night. See you next week.
We'll start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Yes.
Who needs a drink? Good lad. Derek Scott Jolly's arrived as well. Hello, Derek. Super 7 needs a drink already. I'm pleased to hear it. In fact, we should all have a drink. Shall we make tonight a drinking game?
Yeah, mine's pink, though.
Pardon?
Mine's pink.
What about your drink?
That's pink, too.
All right, that's all right then. This, believe it or not, is a gin and lemonade. So every time we drink, you drink. But you've got to drink the whole drink. That's what I'm saying.
I expect to see chat for the in a minute.
It's all going to make a lot more sense if you're drunk. Let's put it that way. I've just been noticing the amount of shite that's floating about lately.
Well, it does float to the top, doesn't it?
Doesn't it, though? I mean, somebody in jest, it was in jest on Facebook. Only 3 more days, Dave says Sputs. Hopefully. Get your motor running. Anyway, right, look. Yes, in jest on Facebook. And it was in jest, I know this. It said, I'm bored. Is there anywhere I can go and watch somebody's e-cig blow up in their pocket? You froze there for a second. It was one of those. It was one of those. And it's quite funny, in a way. No?
Well, yeah, I didn't read it at the time, so I'm Get his third, second hand, or whatever hand. So
Just me then.
uh,
But yeah, I mean, we keep seeing this. It comes up in everything. I mean, keep hearing it at the CDC and all kinds of other folks when they think, well, we need to have something that we can criticise e-cigs for. And there's other things we're going to be talking about. Trust me on. But the first thing is this whole battery safety thing. Now, what's that one you're using there, Matt?
my triple battery thingamajig DNA 200 jobby.
Oh right, but that's a DNA 200 that takes 18650s.
Yes, one of them.
But you has DNA 200s that don't, that take lipo parts.
Yes, that's one here, which is in bits at the minute. But yeah, there we are.
Why is it in bits?
Because this is the one I gave to my mate next door and he dropped it.
Ah, it's not because you need to tend to the battery in any way, shape or form.
No, the battery's still fine.
Right, because I've got, how many have I got? 8 DNA 200 devices, of which one is working. And it's all down to the batteries, or the way that they're looking at the batteries. So, right, if there's going to be a challenge and a problem with 18650s going postal, whoops, and these things, 26650s, I wouldn't want one of those going off anywhere near. And if we can't get people, whether they be vendors or users, to constantly use the condoms, then it would seem that the built-in battery is the way to go. Would you potentially agree?
I would 100% agree, because that's all I ever let my missus use, is one with a built-in battery.
Drink.
Oh, sorry. Right, okay.
The problem with built-in batteries, though, is people don't like them.
My missus likes them fine. They're less hassle.
Well, there's a lot of people say they don't like them because they cannot change them.
Yeah.
And so, dear viewer, seamless links are us, I was informed of a device last week that has a removable built-in battery that isn't 18650s.
Ah, right. It's just a pillar box.
This is the pillar box, the post box. Shall we look at it?
Please, I've not seen it yet.
Right, here it is. It's called, Command J, David, well done. Very controversial, Dave. I would have to buy. No, you wouldn't have to, Sputs. You wouldn't need to buy anything new because you know what you're doing. We're not talking about people that know what we're doing. We're talking about the people that would try to govern us. And this gets past all of that. That's the box it comes in. Now watch this, Matt. This is how you do an unboxing. That's the box it comes in. And can you notice, you'll be able to see, it says, designed in Singapore.
I can notice that, yes.
Yeah, Singapore, where e-cigs are illegal.
Yes.
Yes, it's designed in Singapore. It has a load of bump on the back, which I'm not going to go through, other than to tell you that the wattage range is 5 to 250 watts. It has an easily replaceable 1350 milliamp hour LiPo, and that's as far as I'm going to go, because I'm going to show you the easily replaceable 1350 milliamp hour, and it's milliamp hour, not mAh, LiPo in the back. So at fingertips, there it is, look. It's a little magnetic catch, and I'm doing this upside down. Somebody used to give me grief for doing this. Come out, that's it. And there it sits in there. Is that visible enough?
Yeah, well, I'm seeing what's going on, so that'll do.
So all you do, finger under there, and out it comes, just like that. And that there is the battery pack. Does that look familiar?
Looks a bit like one that sort of a bigger one than you get with phones.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's exactly that. It's exactly like what you would get with a phone. Now, at the moment, there are no spare batteries to be had and no external chargers to be had, but apparently they are going to be available. The back door's magnetic, so I shall just smash its back door in. Drink. Two eyes that are bright. Yes, drink. What can I tell you? It's the usual menu-driven stuff that you would expect. I've now had 4 charges into it, and it's a 1350 milliamp hour LiPo battery.
Right.
How best to demonstrate this? Well, first off, I shall peel off the protector off the window. That means I'm going to keep it, which is worth recognising. I shall then screw on the top of it, comma, the TFV12 with the 12 coil core. I will switch it on, and you can set your own number of clicks. You can either go 3 or you can go 5.
Can you go for 7?
No.
Oh.
Why 7? Game of Thrones.
So, I've never seen that, actually.
You're not?
No.
Don't know what you're missing. Right, let me try and get this up to the camera and Command G. And I've got no idea whether you're going to be able to see it. The enter key is the fire button, right? And all right, menu. You hold down the left. Oh, come. Hold down the left or the up button, and there you can. You can't really see this at all, well, can you?
No, that's all right.
I'll explain it rather than tell you. If I go to battery, you will see, because I took it off charge a little while ago, you might be able to see it's at 97%. I can up the brightness onto that. Give me a second. Setting. Screen bright. I'm on dim 1. Go to bright. Bright. Exit. Back into the menu. Up button. Battery. Dink. I can't say that it's made that much of a difference. There you are, 97%. All right. So, given that it's at 97% at the moment, that's the charge I got it to, and it's only USB charge, micro USB. So I shall now give it a big torque, and let's see how much it drops by. Are we ready for this?
Go on, do it.
160 watts this is. I'm blowing it left so it doesn't blow the green screen out. That was one. Here's another one. There's a reason I usually only take shot. I've gone dizzy. Right, let's have a look and see where we're at. Battery. And there you have it. 2 drags. Whoops, Command G, David. 2 drags and I am down to 91%. What that means is, if you are going to use this for high wattage vaping, like what I are, you aren't going to get an awful lot of time out of it. In fact, you're going to get around about 100 to 120 drags at 160 watts. That's probably not good enough for me.
No. Better if you can get some extra batteries for it, though.
Yes, precisely the point. Now, because of that, because I thought that was the case, I decided to have a bit better look at this battery, because I thought it was worthwhile doing that. So let's Command G back, and let's see if we can get a bit closer up to it. There you go. Now, I don't know whether you can see by the shadows that are being formed. You can see there. All of those contacts are raised. They're not in. And when you look inside, the contacts inside are raised as well. It's in a little indent. Yes, it is in a little indent, but the contacts themselves are raised. So it would be very easy, and I'm not going to, because this has happened before, it would be very easy to short them out. You couldn't put that in your pocket as it stands. It would need to be in a box.
If I were a betting man, I would say the 2 outside pins are the voltage, the positive and negative.
They are the full voltage, yes, which currently sits at around about 8.4. It's a bit of a shame, I have to say. It would have been an awful lot better had that not been the case. Or had there, I'm hoping that when they do come up with the additional batteries, that they'll be in some kind of slip holder. that'll cover the contacts. In terms of menuing, yes, very good. What does it handle? It handles everything. Temperature control, the lot. I haven't played with the temperature control yet, other than once or twice, and it seems to be bang on. Its wattage is actually bang on. I've tested that. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and it's accurate. When you get down to less than 12% of the battery, it'll tell you weak battery. It can't do what I'm asking it to do at 12%. If I was to turn it down, it would. It's comfortable. It's a fingerprint magnet, to be honest. It's very shiny in red. It's not easily lost, and I've found it very useful on the bike because it's slim. Command G again, David. It's quite slim. I know that looks huge, but if you look at it alongside the TFV12, it is actually quite slim, you know, and the button falls quite nicely to hand. I like it. I just wish it would last longer on a charge.
Now, a comment there on the Periscope chat said that it looks like on the battery there's a pull tab on the top.
A pull tab?
Yeah.
It's not pull tab. There is a tab of hang on, do we need to go back to closely uppy? We'll do that. I'm so tight for room these days. Right, there's a little, and whether anybody will be able to see it, there's a little grey nodule there, but there's that lug is to fit into the battery compartment. So that fits into there, and then it clips down, and this little lug here is for lifting it out with. And there is actually at the base of that compartment, you can see that little silver spring thing. That's what pushes it up and makes it keep good contact. Yeah. I do like the build quality on it, I've got to say. It's not easy to work with one hand doing all of that kind of stuff, but you know, that's solidly in. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall out and what have you. And it does feel good in the hand. And it's doing what I ask it to do, just not for long enough. That's the only thing I've got with it. It's just not doing it for long enough. The black one is hyper shiny. I wouldn't be able to see it against my bike. But that it's nice in the hand. It fits my hand nicely. If you had female porn star hands, which i.e. small, you might have a bit of a what? You might. No. You might have. Well, they are. That's what they do. They pick lasses with small hands.
Yep.
Apparently, the male porn stars prefer that.
Do they really? Yeah.
Well, can you imagine a lass with hands like Marco's?
Oh, good God. No, I can't.
All of them would think they were me. It's no good. No, that doesn't mean Marco gets no. No, it is. It's really comfortable in the hand. It's working well. It just, with 1350 milliamp hours, it just doesn't last long enough. There's all kinds available in the menu. They've got short circuit protection. They've got low battery protection. There's reverse circuit protection, but how the hell are you going to do that? I don't know. They even have a temperature sensor in the battery, so it'll tell you what the battery temperature is. I will tell you what the battery temperature is. Where is it? Control. Coil. Puff info. Puff info. Date, week, month. Let's go to month. Please configure system date. Sod that. You can tell I'm bothered about the puff count, can't you? Where's the info I want? Setting. Setting. Screen bright stealth. Wake up language. Info. There we are. This is on firmware 1.09, which is the latest version. And I can't say... Oh, right, yes. Can't say the temperature off the top of my head. It's in there in the menus, but I mean, who the hell uses menus? Other than once you know what you're doing, do it. 3 memories though, that's good.
Do we know what flavour of battery that is? Is that lithium polymer or lithium ion?
It's, I shall pull it off and see what it says on the back. It said LiPo. It is LiPo. 9.9 watt hours, limited charge voltage in the battery itself of 8.4 volts. The battery will knock it off by itself. And it's assembled in China. It's designed for a lipo, Paul. I'm going to say this, 250 watts is way over the top for most people, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Doesn't need it. I reckon if you were using this at more normal 40 wattish levels and below, it would easily manage. No problem at all. You'd get your day out of it. You know, and it's comfortable and it's lipo, and it's got all the safety features and it's built like a brick shithouse. I quite like it. $89.99 I paid. I got it on Amazon, don't you know? Because that was the quickest place to find it. It is very tempting, Paul. He's just said on Periscope. It's that tempting. I'm going to see what my darling wife has to say about it. She will be given a go of it. I'm hoping it's too big for her. But then, which married man hasn't said that?
I'm not going to speculate on hand size at this point.
No, Joe. No,
we've already been there.
No, let's not go there. I mean, at 90 quid, it's a bit over the top. But I think if I could get 2 or 3 spare batteries for this, I'd be quite happy. And an external charger. It charges extremely quickly. I've got a 2 amp output. USB, 2 amp output. 2 hours, it's fully charged.
That's not too bad then.
It's quicker than the Osmo.
Yeah, that seems to take forever, that doesn't it?
It does a bit. 2 hours fully charged. And it balances, it's doing all the balancing and everything that it should do. Morph's asking, is it possible others will follow this example now that it's been done? My God, I do hope so. We were banging on about this 2 or 3 years back, weren't we?
Yeah.
I know Anakin tried, but that was that was kind of, wasn't camera styly.
No, it wasn't a bad mod actually. Caroline's got one.
Yeah,
my missus. She hasn't used it for a while actually. In fact, I don't even know where the thing is. But she quite liked it. If only because you can get different coloured batteries and bodies and mix and match.
Yeah. Well, I like that idea. That it's more like carrying a camera around or a video camera and you know, this is the kind of stuff that I use all day, every day. Granted, the contact protection on that kind of battery is much better because it's completely shrouded. As you can see, the contacts are at the top there, and that's completely shrouded. There's no way you're going to be able to short that out unless you physically actually slide something very thin in. So that's something that wants to be looked at, yes. But aside from that, I do like the idea. It's very much aping camera batteries, mobile phone batteries, you know what I'm saying, all of that kind of stuff. And that I think makes everybody feel a bit better, especially the ants. If the ants have got the battery that's in this to whinge about, what are they going to whinge about?
You know, one thing they could do, obviously you've used cassettes over the years, you know, cassettes that when you load them up, a cover flips up, doesn't it, when it goes in the mechanism?
Yes.
They could do something like that with that battery quite easily.
Yes, a flip-up cover to expose the contacts.
Or just a sliding panel at the back, you know.
It's all it needs. It doesn't need much. Yeah. I think if it would get that sorted, that would obviate all of the crap that we ever get about exploding batteries, wouldn't it?
Although Brian Coder says you could get phone companies making e-cigs. As long as it's not Samsung, that's fine.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that.
Did you actually hear that the plant that makes the batteries for Samsung actually caught on fire?
Well, I'm not really surprised. I mean, look, let's be honest. If anybody was watching Robot Wars last night, there was a lithium battery fire.
Was there? I didn't see it, actually. I'm watching the catch up.
It was PP3D, I think, got smacked by one of the robots. One of the battery packs got punctured, but their battery packs are all titanium isolated. So they've got all these mega hoosie lipos in them, but each one inside the battery pack is titanium. So there's only one's going to go, really, and it's all protected off. And they just pulled that out, chucked it away, and shoved another one in.
I tell you what, I did actually read when I think it was last year when they brought it back, wasn't it? I did actually read the entry requirements for your robot.
All right.
And incredibly stringent. It's almost to the point as how the hell do you design a robot with this amount of restrictions, you know?
Well, you've got 120 kilos to play with, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's the way things have got to be separated out and space in between it. It's all mandated, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, while I wouldn't want to see mandatory battery packs like that, because I don't like that kind of interference, that I think that style of thing, that kind of thing, where the LiPo is in that kind of pack, where it's aping cameras and cell phones and God knows what else, I think it's worthwhile supporting that kind of thing. So from that, you know, I mean, it's usual early adopter stuff, isn't it? And I've been an early adopter, and I'm very happy to stick with something like that, but I do need the spares. So XTast people, if you're watching, spare batteries on the market as soon as you like, and an external charger, preferably a 3-bay, because I vape a lot.
Do you really?
Apparently so.
I've got to be honest, the starting of that mod doesn't personally appeal to me that much.
To be honest, again, you know, when it arrived and I took it out the box, I thought, fugly. And then you get it in your hand, and it's like it.
Fair enough.
There's not a sharp edge on it. There's not a right angle on it. Everything's just, it's curvaceous and rounded.
Right. No sharp corners.
No sharp no sharp corners to catch on. It's like caressing your lover's bosom.
Yeah, there's no sharp corners there. No, just trying to remember.
I was going to say last time I looked, no. No, it is. It's curvy. It fits in the hand nice. I do. I quite like it. If only the battery was longer, but I'd be very, very happy. I mean, how many camera batteries do you carry with you when you're out?
Oh, God knows. As many as I can, really.
But when we were down at Expo last, did you look how many Marco had?
Yeah. Marco, well, he needs a minivan anyway.
He does, but he had 12 bloody batteries.
Yeah, I don't carry that many. I mean, maybe 3 or 4, perhaps, at tops.
Or was it me?
No, it wasn't you.
No,
you travel quite light by comparison.
Yes, he had about 12 batteries with him. I carry 6 or 7 because they're all the same ones that I use. So I've got, you know, and they power everything. And that's fine. So I don't mind carrying spare batteries, especially when they're safe like these ones are. It just needs a little slip on it. Anyway, we've done that one to death, haven't we? Really?
Yep.
That filled 5 minutes.
Oh, and plus another, I'd say, 20.
There you go. You did say, can we get 5 minutes out of it, didn't you? Running joke. The one thing I don't do, though, even though I do vape a lot, I don't vape competitively. Do you?
No.
This next bit, in a way, is a response to Smoke-Free Radio last night. Did you listen to that?
I didn't.
This was a vendor that was on Smoke-Free Radio saying, look, can we stop punting vaping as a hobby and let's get back to THR, tobacco harm reduction? And I sat and I thought about this, and I thought, well, hang on a minute. Now, you might not know this, dear viewer, but on Thursday gone, I passed my motorbike test. I know it seems a bit late. Well, it is. 61, for God's sake, 62 this year. That's how you know you're over 60. You stop telling people how old you are and you tell them how old you're going to be. It's wishful thinking. So, yeah, I passed my motorbike test. Now, I go to a bike meet on a Wednesday night and a Sunday night. It's called the Wetlands. Lovely place. Loads and loads of bikers get down there. And you can see the different kinds of bikes people ride. Now, if you watch the super bikes or any of the bike racing, whether it's the Isle of Man or any of the other stuff that goes on, there you see them all with their asses in the air, their head down along the tank, and as they pull away, the front wheel will be up off the ground, they're wheeling away and then get it back down, and they're doing 200 and God knows how many miles an hour along straights, and some of them round the corners, some of them make it, some of them don't. And that's what you would call competition motorbiking. 200 and odd mile an hour, wheelies up, arse in the air, looking like a Power Ranger in your one-piece leathers and your crash hat and all of that kind of stuff. And that's competitive motorcycling. You get the same with competitive car driving. Formula One starts later on this month. And they are driving at speeds that nobody else does. Well, they're driving at speeds that nobody else usually gets away with, shall we put it that way. Same with rally cars and all of that kind of stuff. There is a competitive element to all of it. And for a lot of people, it's a hobby. If you go to the Isle of Man, there's a lot of the lads that ride in the Isle of Man TT that are not professional at what they do. Even Guy Martin, he's actually a lorry mechanic. That's what he does. He mends trucks. That's what his business is, mending trucks. And yes, he does telly as well. And he's also a motorcycle racer. It's a hobby for him. He's very good at it. And he makes money at it. But it is a hobby for him. So he's kind of... You wouldn't see him doing that on a motorbike on the roads. I know. Because he doesn't. Because we've seen him. In fact, most of the time he's running around in a transit. So this whole stop making it a hobby and start making it TH... Well, look, watch this bit of video and then I've got some thoughts on this, because the pleasure principle, as you know, is my big thing. Watch this. It's very, very interesting. I'm not quite sure when it was shot, but it's worth a watch.
Vape Capital Cloud Championship 2016, we have a tour. We picked 28 stops, 3 conventions. We go to a different state every other weekend, and they are competing to be a qualifier in our championship finale that'll be in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're paying $10,000 for the first place winner. We all smoked cigarettes before. A lot of us didn't, a lot of us did. And smoking cigarettes, of course, we know it's a combustible form. We know it's creating carcinogenic cancers, and we know it's killing us. We turned to vape for a healthier alternative. We know that once you get off cigarettes, you want to be a part of something. Cigarettes don't offer the same kind of fun that we have. You can't walk up to somebody and say, hey, what cigarettes are you smoking? Nobody cares.
You get a fast car, your buddy's got a fast car, now you got a race. Same thing happened with e-cigs. You know, oh, my mod goes better than yours. Next thing you know, people are going back to back, and it turned into a subculture.
Competitive vaping is definitely a big deal. People have a good time with it. People are sponsored by a lot of big companies. They're juice companies, they're wire companies, they're wick companies, cotton, whatever it is. And they want to put that on the platform to show everybody what they're about. So competitive vaping will only get bigger, and we're not going anywhere.
Yes, competitive vaping will only get bigger and nobody's going anywhere.
Maybe.
Well, but you see, that I think, is what people get their knickers in a twist about. But you heard what he said, didn't you? They're having fun with e-cigs and you don't get fun with cigs. You don't get fun with fags.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Well, I don't think he's 100% right, because there's a lot of people enjoy smoking. I used to enjoy smoking. I didn't want to pack it in. But by the same token, in exactly the same way with cars and motorbikes, I've got no interest in competitive motor racing, in riding a bike at 230 miles an hour, and I've got no interest in going and taking part in competitive vaping. Although I hold in awe the people that can do all the tricks and stuff like that. That it kind of fascinates me. Sputs says, I still think the smoker is getting forgotten about. I don't think they are. I don't think the smoker is being forgotten about. I think the smoker isn't being targeted. Right? The smoker isn't being targeted. Now, depending on your viewpoint, that's a good or a bad thing. What do you think, Matt?
Right. Well, I think that we are. I say we're saying that the smoker isn't being targeted. Yes, they are. It's just that happens to be a video about cloud chasing and competitive vaping. There are vendors out there that target smokers. It's just that happens to be a video, not about the people that are just switching from smoking to e-cigs. So I'm not really sure I understand the complaint, to be honest.
Well, what I've been hearing from various different places is that vendors have forgotten smokers, that getting a starter kit that's an actual starter kit is not easy to do. But as we said, whether it was last week or the week before, people are assuming that folks who want to make the switch or are considering making the switch or are even just trying it out are going to be mouth to lung smokers. And as Andy Morrison and I say Andy's watching, he'll remember, as we said last week, up in Glasgow, the two lasses from Cancer Research UK, they lunged it. It was a straight direct to lung. It wasn't mouth to lung. That was what they knew. And I've met loads and loads of young'uns when I was running the studio. When they smoked a cigarette, they lunged the cigarette because that's what they did with a joint. And they had a joint before they had a fag. It's what they do with a bong. And it may well be that what we're doing here is projecting our own preferences onto everybody. And I honestly think that's a mistake. I think there's room for every variety of device. Now, I know you do both. You mouth to lung as well as direct to lung, don't you?
Not so much mouth to lung these days, I've got to be honest. But that's just that's a natural progression for me, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a conscious thing. It's just the way it's gone for me.
See, I direct to lung, but just keep an eyeball. I'm not going to be doing anything different from what I do. I don't take big long drags. I take a quick drag. It's a couple of seconds if it's that. Because that's all I need. And next week we're going to be talking about Dr. Salt liquids, because I've got some.
Oh, okay.
Daz sent me them up. This is based on nicotine salts, so it's more effective apparently than standard nicotine e-liquid. So like the 5 milligram has the speed and power of 10 milligram, and 12.5 has the speed and power of 25. So Jill's testing it out. I'm going to have a blast with it as well. Ciao, Andy. See you later, mate. That's Andy Morrison away.
That's here, Andy.
So yeah, I'm going to test that out and see whether that makes a difference. It might change the way I vape. I don't know. We'll see. But where was I? Yeah. As I said, you know, I think we've got to have everything available. Nobody's going to be allowed to advertise anything in any way worthwhile. So it's whatever people's got in the shops. I mean, once we can get the advertising crap overturned and chucked out and stuff like that, then fair enough. Then maybe there's a debate to be had. But competitive vaping is just that. They're the proper cloud chasers. They're the proper tricksters and what have you. But the reason we played that in, aside from I wanted to have a little bit of a natter about that, was because it was on a page from the Daily Star, was it not?
Yes, the clickbait central.
It was reporting about this latest piece of bullshit study from Pankow, the bloke that brought you 15 times more formaldehyde than fags. Now apparently there's more benzene in e-cigs than is in ordinary air. It's bullshit actually, because his figures aren't right. He's misinterpreted his figures. But the Daily Star's run with this, and apparently, according to the Daily Star, e-cigs are more dangerous for you than ordinary fags. And then they've turned round and said, this is how fact-checked they are, because we fact-checked this just before the show. They said benzene is used in paint thinners. Matthew?
Right, benzene. Let me have a quick look. Benzene with E's and no I's involved. It is it's not used in any non-industrial application. It is used primarily in the petroleum industry and the coal industries.
There you are. So it's not used in paint thinners. Just isn't. It's not. They've got that wrong.
Yep.
There have been, well, Dr. Faslinos has done a whole takedown on it, and basically it's a load of shite.
Yes, I had a read of that. Yes.
Yes. I must teach him how to spell shite, because it would save him so many words.
Yeah.
It's just a load of rubbish. Sputs says he likes a bit of benzene with his tea. Feck him.
Now, benzene with an I. This is what
Benzene.
he's getting at there.
Yeah.
Benzine, yes.
Benzene.
Benzine is generally used as a laboratory solvent. So again, not really a paint thinner, is it?
Hang on a minute. Did you say it's usually used as a laboratory solvent?
Yes, I'm wondering if they had some floating around somewhere in their laboratory.
I was going to say, because all of this was done in the laboratory with benzene as a laboratory solvent. Just putting it out there. It's a possibility, or a pissybolity, whichever way you want to put it, but it sure as hell, it's crap. In order to illustrate their point about e-cigs being more dangerous than ordinary fags, they also put another piece of video up, which neither Matt nor I were expecting to see. And Matt's gone to sleep. No, he's awake now. You froze.
Oh, did I? Oh.
Yeah. Yes, they put another piece of video out that neither of us was expecting to see. You may find this familiar if you've been around a while. And the thing is, I've stood up and spoke against this bloke. Here he is.
We tested 4 different brands in total at this lab in Leeds. 3 were fine, but one e-liquid contained diacetyl, a chemical which is safe to eat but is not safe to inhale. It's linked to a serious lung disease.
Well, that particular chemical is associated with an unusual but well-established lung condition called popcorn worker's lung, and it has been inhaled in significant quantities in people who worked in popcorn manufacturing factories, and in those individuals it's caused a very serious lung condition, serious enough to warrant lung transplantation.
We bought the e-liquid containing diacetyl, the butterscotch flavour, here in the VIP shop in Gateshead's Metro Centre. VIP is one of the UK's biggest e-cigarette brands. We contacted VIP. They told us they did know about this issue after discovering the chemical through their own testing procedures. Well, you withdrew it presumably because you knew it was harmful.
We withdrew it, yes, and because of the small amount that the vapour would actually consume as such, it was deemed that in the short term there would be no health concerns. Long term, yes, there could well be. However, we decided it was a withdrawal rather than a recall of the product. And this is our very, very first issue in 5 years, and we actually sell millions of bottles a year. We are very sorry it's happened. We're investigating how it has happened. We've taken this exceedingly serious.
You happen to find that particular chemical in that particular product, but there are thousands of products out there, and heck knows what's in everything else.
Heck knows. There's a fella that doesn't know his arse from his elbow. I'm sorry to say it, but he doesn't. Apparently, there have been no lung transplants because of popcorn lung. There have been no cases of popcorn lung in smokers. Do I need to go through all of this again?
I don't think so.
Up to 750 times more diacid. I love that up to.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got up to 78 megs down. I haven't really.
Up to and including fuck all.
Yes. There's no, in fact, there's actually no evidence that diacetyl causes popcorn lung. No definitive evidence. As Sputs has just said, it's prize BS. I'll expand the BS in case you don't know. Bullshit. Isn't it?
Yes, full of shite indeed.
It is a load of utter toss. It's sickening. It really is. And there's been all kinds of this crap going on lately. I just wonder. I mean, apparently, our friend Stanton Glantz is all over this.
I was surprised.
I'm shocked and stunned. I never expected him to take any notice of it all. He's been all over it. It's murder. You would almost think it had been orchestrated, wouldn't you?
If I was a suspicious man, yeah, maybe. You know.
I mean, but yeah, look. Somebody tweeted me earlier on over the weekend and said, was I all right? Because apparently Jerry Stimpson is tweeting 100 times more than I am at the moment. Why was I not tweeting more on Twitter? One, real life does occasionally get in the way, and there are things you have to do. And I've been very busy learning how not to kill myself on two wheels over the last few weeks, in order to, well, prove I'm not going to kill myself on two wheels, basically. I know it's late in life and stuff like that, but it's something I wanted to do. And I've been busy with the NNA, and I've got stuff coming up that I've got to do. So I kind of, when we were away on holiday, decided that tweeting might not be a brilliant idea, because I was supposed to be having a romantic couple of weeks to celebrate our wedding anniversary with my wife. Romantico, don't you know?
Yes.
And sitting there and tweeting all day is not very romantic.
No.
So I gave it a rest, and I discovered I didn't miss it. And I've been back and had a look, and it's getting very combative on there. And I'm getting really sick and tired of seeing people who ought to know better. And I'm not talking about vapors here. I'm seeing people who ought to know better, i.e. folks in public health, tweeting utter shite. And I just cannot be arsed with constantly trying to correct these buggers, because they're just not listening. There is no point. And something else that's upset me as well a little bit about Twitter is, and I'm not going to mention any names, so there's no pack drill here, but there are people who are active as advocates, shall we say, who have been blocking researchers that are on our side and fighting against what they're saying. And I find that really, really hard to stomach. And let me tell you why. I think I'm safe in saying, and you put me right if I'm wrong here, 99.8% of all vapors worldwide were smokers.
I would agree.
Right. 99.8%. 0.2% is negligible and is in fact in the noise. It could be an error. It could be 100%. It's not. I know it's not. But I think 0.2% might be a bit high. That's the way things stand at the moment. But if e-cigs are given their head, if they're given free rein, then before very much longer, they will become what they're already touted to be, and that is a diversion from smoking. Now, I'm choosing my words very, very carefully here. They're not a vaccine against smoking, although it is a valid comparator. It's a valid comparison to make, but they're not a vaccine against smoking. What they are is a diversion from smoking. So, as we've seen, a youth, an adult, a pensioner might decide on any given day, when their eyes open, I actually fancy using nicotine. I'm going to give an e-cig a try. They could say exactly the same about patches. They could say exactly the same about gum. They could say exactly the same about an inhalator. They could say it about snus. And this is what happens in Sweden with snus. They'll go, I fancy using nicotine because it seems to be something I might enjoy. So they go to the safest available form and give it a try that way. Nobody then makes the move to combustible tobacco. Again, am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong.
We're not seeing it, and it's not going to happen. And the thing is, the more people who decide to try nicotine via one of the safer options, i.e. snus, e-cigs, or any of the pharmaceuticals, it makes no odds. But if they choose a non-combustible route and they're enjoying that, then there'll be less and less demand for the combustible variety of tobacco. And as the demand drops and for combustibles, and the demand for non-combustibles rises, then what PMI was saying about wanting to see safer nicotine usage worldwide will come to pass. It's why the tobacco companies are involved. I mean, we found that out a while ago, because they can see that at some point the two graphs are going to do that. You know, ciggies are going to come down, e-cigs and the other stuff's going to go up. One will take over from the other. And I have no problem with that. But what I do have a major problem with is the demonisation, stigmatisation, and almost victimisation of the smoker. We were all smokers, all bar 0.2% of us. We were all smokers. And we should not be teaming up with tobacco control to try and coerce smokers into quitting or even switching. We just shouldn't. When somebody's ready, they'll do it. If they're not ready, they won't. And if the massive choice that people need in order to be able to make that decision isn't available, then there's less chance they're going to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So rather than go out spear chucking and trying to convert smokers, I think the best thing that we as vapers can do is demonstrate our switch. Celebrate the vape. Display the pleasure that we get from doing what we do, no matter how we do it, what we do it with, where we do it, or when we do it. That, I think, is the best route to go. And it's the pleasure principle kicking in, big style. Because if we are enjoying what we do, people see that. You know, I mean, there's some guys get down to the wetlands on various different bikes and they get off them, and seriously, honestly, truthfully, you have to look away until they regain their composure. Because they're really enjoying it, and you can tell. And it's kind of, should I? Might give one of them a go, you know? It's just a thought. What do you make of that, Matt? I mean, would you agree with that?
I would agree wholeheartedly. And we had a comment in chat, and I'm not entirely sure what he's getting at, but some people need all the info before they switch. Well, that's fine. Then you ask someone, but you don't go and tell them about it until they approach you to say, "Oh, what's all this about then?"
A mate of mine, an old friend of mine, came across and he says, "I think I want to give an e-cig a go, but I don't know what to do." All right. What do you think you want to do? Well, I just want to give one a go. All right. So his wife and his daughter had given him a try of theirs, and they were, as it turned out, too strong for him. They made him cough. So we played about here and found something that he was comfortable with, and he's off and away with it now. He's not fully switched. He's still a dual user. I have no problem with that. You know, he said himself, he's now smoking less than half the number of cigarettes that he was, and he quite enjoys the e-cig. He just hasn't had that aha moment yet. But I'm going to try him on some of these salt nicotine juices to see if there's one he likes the flavour of, and whether the reduced throat hit that comes out of these Dr. Salt, that not as throat hitty as a normal nic containing juice for the same milligrams. So if it's going to be kinder on his throat, it may actually be the case that in order to fully switch, he needs higher nic, but he can't take the throat hit. So we need to get that sorted out. But all I'll do is say, look, I've got these things. This might, if you want to go there, great. All I'm going to do is if you like, put the offering on the table. It's up to him to pick it up. That's the way it has to be, as far as I can see. I absolutely hate this notion that businesses ought to be out there converting smokers. It's not your business to do that. It's your business to sell your product, yes. But people decide when they want to buy that product. Otherwise, we're all turning into the likes of Ash and tobacco control that want to help people when they don't want to be bloody helped. And I'm fed up to the back teeth of that kind of thing. And I can't be part of that. I just can't be part of that. It's not right. It's coercing people into doing something they don't want to do. If you like... Here's the controversial bit. This is where we lose all the viewers, Matt.
Go on then.
If you like, it's rape of the lungs. You're forcing people into putting things into their lungs that they don't want to. If they're happy with cigarette smoke, leave them alone. Don't force them to vape. Let them make the choice. Informed consent. If somebody asks you, tell them, but don't try to convert them. I hate the whole notion of converting, helping people that don't want to be helped.
Everyone needs to think back to the time when they were smoking however many they smoke today, and you would get National No Smoking Day on, and you get adverts on the telly, and you would sit there and say, fuck off. Don't tell me I can and can't smoke these. You know? And people seem to forget that now.
It's become, what's the word? Zealots. There's zealotry. I mean, there's ructions in various different quarters about ICOS. You know, the heat not burn thing?
Oh, yeah.
And apparently it seems that there are vapors that feel threatened by ICOS. And I don't understand that. It's another choice. You don't have to use it, but for people that want to use it, it's a harm-reduced, risk-reduced way of getting nicotine. And somebody said, well, you can't believe what the tobacco companies have told you. And you think, why? Why can't you believe it? Because, again, BAT, PMI, all of these people that are doing this research have got to be bang on. They've got to be squeaky clean, because they know damn fine that all of the tobacco control folks are going to be going through their results and their figures with a fine tooth comb. And if any research is going to get duplicated, repeated and checked, it's going to be theirs. It's not going to be Dr. Farsalinos's. It's not going to be Linda Bolt's. It's not going to be Robert West's. It's going to be the tobacco company's research that gets checked over and is put under the microscope. They've got to be absolutely squeaky clean and straight down the middle. If they're not, they're going to get caught out. Paul Morfarves just said, I couldn't give a tuppenny toss what people use. Neither could I. But there are vapors getting their knickers in a twist about ICOS. Because I don't know why. And there's no need to. It's just more choice. We're talking about Andy Morrison earlier on. He discovered snus at the NNA away day. Now, I can't use it. It makes my gums bleed. I'm one of those rare people that just can't use it. It's very, very uncomfortable. And, pardon me, I just can't. Andy's getting away with it, but he's learned the hard way. Don't vape. Don't vape and snus.
No, you get a big giddy.
Yeah, you get the nick-ups. Big style. If you're already at the level and you stick the tea bag in and then take another 2 drags, that's you going, you know. It's I know Sarah Twiglet, Sarah Jakes. She uses those Nicotino strips where she can't vape or where she doesn't want to vape, and she's good with them. I wouldn't decry either of them for making that choice. And if you know, one of me, I hate the word vape fam, but if somebody I know that vapes decide they want to use an ICOS and get more out of that than they do out of an e-cig, that's great. Why worry about it? Why get your knickers in a twist about it? Be happy for them. Pleasure principle. If they're getting more pleasure and they're taking less risk, that's a good thing. That's what we need to be telling people. It's what we need to be encouraging. What we don't need to be doing is saying, you should be using one of these. Because there's no pleasure in that.
It's been said before, though, hasn't it? Because vaping has now got to a saturation point, almost, I suppose. Maybe it hasn't yet, I don't know. But you now get people in vaping communities now who are, let's be honest, tits. And it's not because, you know, anything else, it's just who they are. Case in point, I don't know if you were around. I don't even know if you're aware of this story, actually, Dave. At Vapor Expo, the last one, which was, what, September, October time?
Yeah, October.
In the crowd, when there was giveaways and stuff going on, in the main crowd, not our stage. You remember that couple that the lady won the raffle for a mod and a tank?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't for the life of me think of their names. Lovely couple.
We met them.
Yeah, they was at the same hotel as us, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't think of their names. But she was in the crowd there, and she was having a vape on a Nautilus. And some bloke turned around and said, "That's not a real mod. You're not a real vapor." What the fuck? What? Why?
Oh, we get that in motorbiking as well.
Oh,
Somebody, oh, you're not a real biker. Well, why? What do you mean? I'm not a real biker. Well, you're riding a Harley. You're not a real biker. And my immediate reply to that is, fuck off.
Yeah.
And they'll scooter wankers, not real bikers. Mm-hmm. They're on 2 wheels. They're bikers. If they're on 3 wheels and they've got a handlebar instead of a steering wheel, they're bikers.
Oh, it is a bike by definition.
Of course it is. I've said this 1,000 times. Morph's just said it as well. I couldn't give a tuppenny toss what anybody uses. It's up to them. It's their choice. You know, I mean, hell's delights. If I was constantly critical of people for not using or wearing or doing or looking like things I like to wear, eat, blah, and all of that kind, I'd never shut up. I know I never shut up anyway. But you'd never stop whinging. I don't get people. I don't understand why they're constantly whinging about what other people are using. It's none of your fucking business. It's theirs.
I do have one exception to this rule.
Do you?
And that is my brother's tasting music. It's fucking wrong.
What is it like?
Oh, he likes shit like Bucks Fizz.
Thank you.
You know. Yeah.
There are limits.
There are limits, yeah.
There are limits.
Yeah.
There are limits.
There are limits, yes.
I wouldn't ban them. I'd age restrict it to 94. Rising annually the year after I turn 90. Outside of that, well, actually, I've met one of the people out of Bucks Fizz. Say no more.
Okay, then. I'll say no more.
They're all right. They're all right.
Not my choice of listening, let's just say that.
No, but I mean, when it comes down to mods, I mean, seriously, it's nobody's business what you use.
No.
It isn't. And it's none of our business what somebody else uses. So, you know, am I wrong? Type into Periscope or into chat, am I wrong? Or am I right? I need to know. I actually do need to know. Because, you know, NNA and all of that.
You know, there's a bloke that pulls into our car park and work every day. I have no idea who he is. I've never spoken to him. But every day he pulls in and he's just got a cigarette stuck in his mouth. Every day. Fair enough.
It's work.
Yeah.
When we were away on holiday, I couldn't get my hat on. We're sitting down at the on-site bar where you go for lunch in a bit of shade when it's pouring down with heat.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lassie sat there, Scottish, with, it looked like an E-light, the same sort of size, the big one,
yeah.
big cigarette. And she was sitting there hanging off the end of this, and she's sucking away on it, and there's a little blue LED on the end, and it's barely glimmering. And then when she exhaled, it was like, is it working? Is it actually working? And I'm fascinated. I was sitting there watching, and
everyone says you're right, by the way.
Oh, good, thank you. I'm sitting there looking, and there was the odd wisp.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, not going to see anything. And then I planted that bugger with a TF-V8 on the table, as you do, because the point was putting it back in your pocket.
Right.
And she just looked across and she says, "What the hell's that?" I said, "I told you she was Scottish." I said, "It's an e-cig." She said, "Where the fuck did you get that?" I says, "Oh, I've had it a few weeks." "Jesus, how'd you manage with that?" I says, "No, it's fine, it's fine. I use that, it's grand, it's great." I says, "How long will one of them last you?" Disposables. They were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get a week out of that. I'm thinking,
really?
Jesus, I wouldn't get 5 minutes.
Oh.
And she's barely dragging on it. And it was... Go on.
Sorry, go on.
No.
I was like, even when I first started, I started off on the cigarette, that 10 motives thing all those years ago. I didn't even get a day out of that then.
I've never had a day out of a disposable.
No.
Never.
Well, that's by the by, isn't it?
Well, I mean, but it you know, somebody at like those lads at Vapor Export being, oh, no, you can't be housing something like that. It's not going to last you 5 minutes. You're not a proper vapor, you're housing them.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, it's each to their own. Everybody to their own. I was going to say, I was down at the bike meet. Well, I wasn't actually. I was at the Harley garage on Saturday morning, and a mate of mine, John, turned up. And he was wandering about and chatting to folks. And the next thing I know, he gets the old plastic tampon out.
Uh-huh.
Now, I've never seen him smoke, right? He gets the plastic tampon out and sticks it between his lips, and he's having a conversation, then pulls it out. I said, how do you find it? He says, oh, look at my pocket, and there it is. Typical. Northeastern sense of humour. Exactly like mine. I said, no, do you not find that it gives you mouth ulcers? I said, because I got one for a flight. And I said, well, we're 2 hours into it, and my tongue was just covered in bloody ulcers because I was sucking on it so much. Uh-huh. Oh, he says, I haven't put a cartridge in it for 5 years.
Hey?
He says, it's just something to put in my mouth. Like a dummy.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, we used to look incredulously when we heard somebody saying, oh, I buy 10 mils a month. And that's this lass that I met in Lanzarote, Scottish girl. She wouldn't get through 10 mils a month. If a disposable's lasting her a week, she'd be. I doubt it's. In fact, I would imagine the battery goes down before the cotton's dry.
No.
I doubt she'd be getting through a mil a month.
I suppose, and this is probably true with you as well, that we should really remember that. I mean, I certainly probably smoked much more than the average smoker.
Oh, I think it's safe to say I did.
Aye.
60 a day when I discovered e-cigs, and that was cut down from 100 a day. I don't know whether I smoked them, but I went through them.
Yeah.
They might have been burning away in the ashtray. But whatever.
There's people at work that are vaping now, and I'm thinking, well, I've said to them, I said, but I've never seen you smoke, ever. Oh, I used to. I'm just a social smoker, they said. Oh, right, okay.
I know that phrase.
Uh-huh.
Case in point, she wasn't a social smoker. She smoked 20 a day. My wife, head teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
She would leave the house at 7:15 on a morning, which I thought was a damned early set away because she didn't have that far to go. And she'd have her last fag before she got in the car.
Right.
2 or 3 with the coffee. And
Mm-hmm.
the usual.
Mm-hmm.
And then left her fags and her lighter at home and went to work. And she might not be back till 6 o'clock at night. 7 o'clock some nights. And she didn't have a fag until she got home. Then she'd sit and finish back at 20 during the course of the evening.
Yeah.
Now, I always looked at that and thought, how do you do that? Patently wasn't addicted.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly wasn't addicted. Now, she enjoys vaping that much more, it's always in her handbag. Or it's beside her. Or, you know, but it's always available if she wants it. And I never, you know, I would never have thought I'd seen that. But that's the way she gets the pleasure out of it. And that's great, you know? I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with anybody using anything they want to. I do have a problem, a big one, with people who are constantly criticising other folks for what they vape, how they vape, where they vape, and when they vape, and why they vape. We should have no problems with anybody. If they're vaping, they're vaping, that's great. If they're not, they're not. That's fine too. And I do get a little bit annoyed by it. So that's the long way around of saying why I'm not doing a great deal of Twitter, because I'm getting fed up with too many bloody conversion artists being on there. I don't want to know. Sorry and all that, but there you are. Can't help it.
I've got to be honest, I've been avoiding the whole e-cig thing on social media recently.
Well,
it's
just getting too bad. It really is. I'm seeing too many folks that are adopting what I consider to be tobacco control stance. I keep saying the word cessation. It's not about cessation. I keep saying the quit word. It's not about quitting. But I will say the more vapors... You know, there was this thing over in America where they kept on saying, yes, all these vendors are advertising e-cigs for quitting. It wasn't the vendors, it's the bloody vapors. It's the vapors telling everybody they're for quitting. And there are people trying to tell me they're only for quitting. They're bloody not. They're for enjoying. And the side effect and major benefit that public health gets, that everybody else gets, is that if you're enjoying e-cigs to their fullest extent, you ain't smoking. That's it. Anything other than that is a load of tosh.
Which brings us nicely back round to the hobby topic, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
It does.
Go on.
I mean, how many people in this watching this right now can honestly say that e-cigs for them is not a hobby? I mean, there's a reason I've got shelves full of the bloody things up there. And it ain't for smoking cessation. I can tell you that much.
Well, we need to ask the question then, don't we?
Aye. So, chat, Periscope, whoever else. How many of you do not vape for a hobby? And while we're waiting for that.
Self-selecting group though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, I know.
I mean,
I can't pull some off the street because I haven't got one nearby.
well, I've got a street nearby, but there's nobody on it.
Ah.
I hope. I'm just looking at this, and the turnaround onto Periscope is about a second.
It's a bit more for me, actually.
It's very quick.
It's quicker than YouTube is, but...
It's way quick. I'm looking... Hang on, I'll show you. I can show you this.
Jay Summer says, of course it's a hobby, just comp vaping isn't for me.
Sorry?
Comp vaping.
Oh, no, I mean, well, like I say, it's exactly the same as competition bike riding and competition driving and stuff. I did that when I was young and stupid. I'm not young and I'm not stupid anymore. So, I don't do the competition vaping either. Why would you? But it doesn't mean other people can't.
No, exactly right. I mean, I did go to one of those competition meets a couple of years ago in Cardiff.
Aye.
I filmed it, if you recall. I put the video up, didn't I?
You did?
Wasn't really my cup of tea, but it was quite nice to sit around watching them with some other vapors, you know?
I keep on trying to have a go at doing the tricks, you know? But
I can't even blow a ring, so...
I can do rings, but I cannot do them ones that just hang there and then half them and all of that. I have no idea how the hell that works. I was a biologist, not a physicist.
There we are.
So, I don't know. Are you getting anything in our chat, are you?
Yeah, people are confirming. Blaze says it's not really a hobby for me, too faffy. Yeah, okay. Not me, keep buying new mods all the time. Pleasure, pastime and hobby. I enjoy vaping more than smoking now. It's a pleasure, business and a hobby. And Bernice says, the VGod thing, I remember, yes, because I sit in the same table as you, B. Aye. So, by and large, yeah, most people are watching this show because, well, I kind of expect that. It's a hobby for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I meet loads and loads of folks out there who have simply switched because in many ways it's better for them, mostly in the pocket.
Yep.
Mostly because around this part of the world, at any rate, we've got a lot of vape-friendly pubs and clubs and establishments, so there's no issue. I see a hell of a lot of egos. I see a lot of, smallish tubes. I see a lot of little e-leafs. I don't see much in the way of snapbacks and clouds. There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few around here, yeah.
Bikers. Yeah. But I don't hear of much in the way of ructions in establishments. I do know that in the I will keep calling them nightclubs and discos, and I know they're not, but you know what I mean. The late night dancing and drinking establishments where they're pumping a hell of a lot of they're pumping a whole load of vapour into the air anyway, so you can see the lights. Then yes, they cloud like hell in there. Just saves the establishment money, frankly. So you know, I don't know. It's a weird one, and it's been grinding me gears for quite a while, as some folks might have gathered. I'm seeing fragmentation in what used to be a community in exactly the same sort of way that I've seen fragmentation in so many other communities. And it always happens when politics gets involved.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also an element of when a community gets to a certain size, you get such a melting pot of personalities as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. I mean, it used to be the case that everybody thought that if you were a vapor, you were a nice guy. Just go and ask the vendors how much stuff gets nicked.
Aye.
At the likes of Vapor Expo and Vape Jam and Vape Fest, there's stuff going missing left, right, and centre. Vapors are just people. They're just people that happen to vape. So there's everybody. There's all kinds of walks of life, and you know, we're no more trustworthy than anybody else. And it's the same in the bike. It's the same in the biker community. It's the same in the car cruising community and all of that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter where you go. There's wrangings, and there's writings, and there's people that, you know, like I say, I keep hearing folks saying, no, you don't want a Harley, you want a Honda, you want a Suzuki, you want a Kawasaki, you want a sports bike, you want this, you want that, you want the other. And my answer to that is no, I want a Harley. It's what I want. I've always wanted a bloody Harley. I just want a Harley. It's that simple. I'm not interested in what you think I want. I know what I want, and that's what I'm getting. And it's exactly the same with e-cigs. I'm not interested in what TC, what Tobacco Control thinks I ought to be doing. They can, if I may lay my tongue to a little bit of foreign language, as it were, they can fuck off. And when they get there, they can fuck off a bit further. And when they get there, they can fuck off all the bloody way. I'm not interested in what they think I ought to be doing. They can go and play with themselves. I couldn't give a toss. Sooner they're disbanded and defunded and off the face of the planet, the better, as far as I'm concerned. You might have gathered that last week. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I've probably said all I've got to say. It's all I kind of prepared in my mind. You got anything you want to run through?
No, not really. I don't think there's much more I can expand on. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Actually, one thing I do want to touch on briefly is we often see we see it a lot of the time in our chat, at least, that people complain about the lack of mouth to lung devices, and it's always direct to lung, all the new stuff. Now, I've got a little theory about that. People that are on the direct to lung stuff, has it ever occurred to them that they just might be quite happy with it and not chasing the next big thing?
It's a queer one. It really is a queer one. Had I not done the experiments I did when TPD actually got passed and it was coming in, and I wanted to see whether I could survive, bearing in mind the strength of liquid I used, which was 54 milligram.
Yep.
I'd never direct to lunged, but I did this experiment to find out whether I could cope with less than 20 milligram. And the only way I could was by going direct to lung. And I found that I enjoy it more than I did mouth to lung. I can still mouth to lung, and I still do. But there's no way I could mouth to lung and get through a sensible amount of juice at less than 20 milligram. It just wasn't doing it for me. And there was a danger for me that I might have to compensate in a combustible way. So that's why that was the original reason. But I found I enjoy it more. I mean, I try not to upset people. I'll cloud outside.
Aye. Yeah.
But I don't generally blow bloody great clouds unless I'm in a cloud-friendly place.
Aye. I mean, I fairly recently have found a vape-friendly pub quite nearby me.
Aye.
Which is great. They have local homemade ciders and ales and pork pies and homemade pork scratchings. Superb place it is.
I'm coming down.
Aye. Oh, brilliant pub. You know, a pork pie with cranberries and Stilton on top. You know.
Be still my beating heart.
So me and my next door neighbour, we go down there every couple of weeks or so. We sit there, have a couple of pork pies and pork scratchings, a couple of pints, and sit and chew the fat. Anyway, I said to the landlord, I said, you mind if I use these in here? He goes, no, go ahead, they smell like air fresheners. What? Superb. But I don't sit there and take the piss and blow massive clouds out.
Well, no. I mean, I'll be honest, I've got to be. We did set the smoke alarms off in a pub in London. Andy Morrison, Lorien, Sarah and me and Simon. We did. And that was because we were sat right underneath one. Silly place to sit. And one of us, I'm not mentioning any names, no pack drill, Lorien, let a great big lungful up, and she was mouth to lung. But her mouth to lung goes like, it's funny. I love watching it because it's an art. Right?
Yes.
You get. That's Lorien. Serial mouth to lung until she's got the lungs filled. Right? Without much in the way of an exhale. And then it all comes out. Now, it wasn't her, it was me. But we've set the alarms there. At Chris's wake in a pub up in Northumberland, I blew a cloud and set the alarms off there. That's the only twice. But we didn't get kicked out of either. In fact, both landlords laughed. They thought it was funny. I just got embarrassed and went very, very red. We were very apologetic, but we bought food and a fair amount of drink, so fine.
Yeah.
You know, you sharp learn, and then you think, oh God, and that's when the old downward exhale comes in, isn't it? You know, so
Yeah.
Blow it down.
So I mean, I tend to when I'm sitting in said pub, I tend to vape like this. I just let it drift out my nose.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I've got this, like I say, with this particular setup, 12 coils in the core and 160 watts. It's very short. Pardon me. That's all it takes. And for the first time, I can speak with vapour in my lungs. Haven't been able to do that since I smoked. So, you know, there it is. There it is.
Aye.
So we have staggered to the end of the show.
We have.
We're
Already, bloody hell.
We're going to have to stop pre-planning like this, Matt.
I know. I mean, all day I was planning this one, as I know you were as well.
Yes. All day I was playing with little toy cars with my grandson.
My friend is very interested in those.
And which friend would that be? What's his name?
John.
Is it?
Yes.
Matthew John Gurish. If David Hallam's watching, get all four that you've put in your basket, mate. I've ordered more track today. It's great for the grandbirds, but it's better for us. We've had a whale of a time with it all. Sitting playing with these little toy cars on tracks. Don't ask. Don't ask. Be brilliant. Right, we're going to go. Thank you so much for joining us. Actually, that's absolutely hoided by.
It has, isn't it?
That's an hour and a half gone, and it doesn't feel like 5 minutes.
Aye.
Crackers. Utterly crackers. So tonight, we told you about that. The XTast X250 with its proper, shrouded, replaceable light-weight battery. I quite like. We've talked about competition vaping. We've talked about the Star being a set of clickbaiting assholes bringing old news and trying to point at, say that it's new, and it isn't. We've talked about various different styles and how we should live and let live. And now, more gin.
It's gin o'clock.
It's gin o'clock. If the time has come for us to go, and so we say farewell. Hello. Yeah, we'll see you next Monday night. Hopefully Mark will be back. If he's not, we'll send a search party and 4 consultants out.
Yep.
Yeah. Poorly bad in bed, with a shawl on, both feet in one sock, waiting for the doctor to come and rub his chest with Vic. But Vic, unfortunately, has just bought a new motorbike, so she's not going down. Right, we'll see you all next week. Until then, take care of each other. Enjoy other people enjoying their vaping. And vape on. Vape hard. And don't let the bastards grind you down. See you next time. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Matt.
Bye-bye, Matt.
Bye-bye, Matt.